We think about our eyes seeing the world around us, right? But what if I told you they can also see the world inside you? It turns out that the old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul, well, it's not the whole story. They're a direct window into your overall health, and sometimes they hold the key clues to solving some of the body's biggest mysteries.
So let's ask, what secrets could be hiding right there in plain sight? How about we play detective? In this explainer, we're going to dig into 2 real-life medical case files where the biggest clue to a life-changing diagnosis was found hiding right in the patient's eyes. Ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so our first case file, sudden darkness. This one starts with a situation that, believe me, gets any doctor's immediate attention. A sudden, dramatic loss of vision.
Here are the facts. We've got a 55-year-old man, and we already know he has type 2 diabetes. He wakes up one morning, and the vision in one of his eyes, it's just gone. Poof! But here's the really strange part. There is absolutely no pain. Zero. Now that combination of symptoms, sudden, severe, and painless, it immediately starts narrowing down the possibilities for our investigators.
So when the doctors look into his eye, they basically find the crime scene. There's a lot of bleeding, and more importantly, they see something called neovascularization. Now that's just a fancy term for the growth of new rogue blood vessels where they have no business being. This is a critical piece of evidence.
Okay, so we have the evidence in hand. A patient with diabetes, painless vision loss, bleeding, and these weird new blood vessels. So what do you think is going on here? Let's line up the suspects.
Let's run down our list of suspects and see what sticks. First up, non-proliferative retinopathy. Yep, it has hemorrhages, which fits, but it lacks those new blood vessels we saw, so not a perfect match. Okay, how about a central retinal artery or vein occlusion? They can cause sudden vision loss, sure, but the other clues just don't line up. But then, we get to our final suspect, proliferative diabetic retinopathy. And look at that. It accounts for the bleeding and the new blood vessels. It's a perfect match. All the clues line up.
And that crucial term again is neovascularization. This isn't just another symptom. It is the smoking gun. It's a direct result of advanced diabetes. See, the retina becomes starved for oxygen, and in a desperate move to survive, it starts growing these new blood vessels. The huge problem is these new vessels are weak, fragile, and they are super prone to breaking.
And you can really see the difference between the 2 stages right here. On one side, you have the early or non-proliferative stage, where the existing vessels just get a little leaky. But then look at the other side. That's the advanced proliferative stage. You can see that chaotic, dangerous growth of new vessels. That is the key distinction that solves this mystery.
And there we have it. The verdict is in. Our patient has proliferative diabetic retinopathy with a vitreous hemorrhage. Those fragile new vessels broke and bled into the clear jelly of his eye, the vitreous, causing a massive bleed that completely blocked his vision. Case closed.
All right, let's move on to our second case. Get ready, because this time the symptoms are completely different, and it's a whole new puzzle.
Our second patient is a 30-year-old woman. She's been having these recurring episodes of vision loss, and this is a huge difference from our first case, hers is painful, really painful, especially when she moves her eye. And here's another vital clue. She also has a history of numbness and tingling in her arms and legs.
Now that combination of eye pain and neurological symptoms like tingling, that tells us we're probably not just dealing with an eye problem. The eye is basically sending out an alarm signal, like a check engine light for a condition that's affecting the entire body. So what could it be?
Let's run through our suspects for this one. Could it be myasthenia gravis? Well, it affects eye muscles, but it usually causes droopy eyelids, not painful vision loss like she has. What about lupus or Behçet's disease? They can affect the eyes, sure, but the specific pattern of symptoms here just doesn't quite fit. But when we look at multiple sclerosis, everything clicks into place. The painful vision loss and the tingling in her limbs, that's a classic presentation.
And the key here is something called optic neuritis. Think of the optic nerve as the main cable connecting your eye to your brain. When that cable gets inflamed, it causes blurred vision and pain with eye movement, which is exactly what our patient is experiencing. And this is a very, very common first sign of MS.
So the verdict is clear. The patient's eye pain and vision loss, when you combine it with her history of numbness and tingling, all point directly to a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. The eye wasn't the problem, it was the messenger.
So you see, these 2 cases, they seem so different on the surface, but they share one profound lesson. The eye is one of the body's most important warning systems. And this is why it's so unique. Think about this for a second.
The eye is the only place in the entire body where a doctor can look directly at your blood vessels and a major nerve without making a single cut. An eye exam is so much more than vision. It's a non-invasive peek at your circulatory system and your central nervous system. A doctor can literally see them in action.
So what are the key takeaways from all this? First, you have to listen to your vision. Sudden changes, painful or not, are alarm bells that you shouldn't ignore. Second, remember that your eyes can reveal much deeper truths. An eye problem could be the very first sign of a much bigger disease. And finally, an eye exam is way more than just a check for glasses. It's a powerful health screening tool, a crucial part of your overall health checkup.
It all really comes down to this one simple but powerful question. Your body is constantly sending you signals. And by understanding what to look for, especially in a place as revealing as the eye, we can all become better detectives of our own health. So, what are your eyes telling you?